Hello everyone, my name is Alexandra Garcia Ochoa and I'm a student in the bachelor's degree in foreign languages with emphasis in English at UNAD. During my pedagogical practice, I worked in the bilingualism program called Native Speaks English, and I also taught English classes at Banco de la República in Coahuila. One of the most important experiences for me was teaching adult learners between 24 and 70 years old with an A1 level of English. The students had different backgrounds, learning rhythms, and levels of confidence when speaking English. Many students had limited vocabulary, pronunciation difficulties, and little exposure to English outside the classroom. Some students felt nervous when speaking because they were afraid of making mistakes. However, they became more motivated when activities were related to their daily life and personal experiences. My research proposal is called The Impact of Recreational Visual Activities on English vocabulary learning and oral participation in one learners. The general objective of my research was to analyze how visual and recreational activities improve vocabulary learning and oral participation in English classes. The specific objectives were to identify how visual materials support vocabulary learning, to explore how recreational activities improve speaking, to observe changes in students' oral participation and vocabulary use. During my pedagogical practice, I designed interactive and contextualized lessons focused on beginner learners. The students responded better when the activities were dynamic, visual, and connected to real situations. Because of this, I used flashcards, games, slides, gestures, images, pair work, and role play activities. For example, in one lesson, students described their neighborhoods using their is and their are. In another class, students practiced this and that using pictures and classroom objects. I also used activities from the Rosetta Stone platform to reinforce vocabulary and pronunciation. Throughout the process, I observed that visual materials helped students understand vocabulary more easily, which recreational activities increased motivation and oral participation. I also learned that adult learners participate more when they feel comfortable, respected, and emotionally supported during the classes. For the literature review, I analyzed authors such as Piaget, Brunner, Vygotsky, and Cameron. Piaget explains that students learn through active interaction with their environment. Brunner highlights the importance of discovery learning and participation. Vygotsky explains that social interaction is so important in the learning process, especially through collaborative activities. Meanwhile, Cameron explains that visual materials, repetition, and interaction are very important in language learning, especially for beginner learners. I also reviewed studies about gamification and visual learning strategies. These studies showed that games, images, and interactive activities improve vocabulary retention, motivation, and participation. The literature review was important because it gave theoretical support to my research and helped me understand why visual and recreational activities can positively affect English learning. For the development of my research, I used a qualitative research approach because I wanted to observe students' learning experiences in real classroom contexts. To collect the information, I used surveys, classroom observations, file diaries, checklists, and students' classroom activities. First, I identified students' needs through a survey, then I designed lesson plans using visual and recreational activities. Some activities included matching games, flashcards, pronunciation practice, vocabulary presentations, oral descriptions, peer work, and speaking activities related to students' daily lives. I also implemented interactive activities using Rosetta Stone and visual resources such as pictures and slides. During the lessons, students participated more actively when visual materials and games were used. Repetition, gestures, and contextualized examples also help students feel more confident when speaking English. The results showed that students improved vocabulary recognition and increased participation in oral tasks. However, students still needed repetition and teacher support to communicate more confidently. Finally, to all of this, pedagogical practice helped me grow personally and professionally. I learned that teaching English is not only about explaining grammar rules, but also about creating interactive, meaningful, and supportive learning environments. This experience also helped me become more reflective, patient, and flexible as a future English teacher. Over all of this, I understood that students learn better when they feel motivated, included, and connected to the classroom activities. Thank you very much.